This week's guest has the McKinney girls basketball team in the hunt for their first district title since 1998 and on pace to make the playoffs for the third time in 4 seasons. Sit back and enjoy a Sunday Spotlight conversation with Lionettes head coach Deb Harris. Coach, what does it mean to be the head lady of Lionette Nation basketball program?
It's an honor. I think anytime you have an opportunity to be a head coach at a school that's the original high school and understanding all the history that McKinney has, back from Susie Hills, Glenna Duncan. I started as a young coach in the area in the mid to late 90s, and McKinney was very, very much a powerhouse, so I'm very familiar with the basketball program here. I think the other thing that's really special about McKinney High School is for as big of a school as we have, it's a small town family environment. It's not girls athletics, boys athletics. It's not volleyball, basketball. We're just Lions. We're a family. We support each other. And that's really special. I've been here 13 years, and that's why.
What are the 2 biggest improvements you have made in your program since you took over 13 years ago, which helped y'all win today?
We don't do things a lot differently today than we have. Obviously, like I said, McKinney used to be a powerhouse women's basketball, and you open McKinney North, you start splitting schools, and as programs do, you're going to kind of go through a slow period. So McKinney was at that point when I got the job at McKinney High School, and my goal when I got here was to try to get this program back to where it was, that the shape that Susie Hills and Glenna Duncan had it in, and I think that we've slowly done that. I think if there's 2 things that I have to pick, it would be continuing to hire coaches that really believe in pouring in the lives of kids. I think we've got a tremendous staff that really believes in education and educational athletics and the purpose of it and how important it is in the lives of kids. And then I think the other thing would be setting our core values. We have Academy Day every Wednesday, and we have an opportunity to talk about that, what our program is about. And ours is about loyalty, integrity, ownership, never give up mentality, and servant leadership. I think those 2, making sure that our kids follow in line with those, have helped us be successful on and off the court.
How does having 4 Division I caliber players and scorers help your team go to the next level this year?
It definitely helps. There's no question about that. I think the thing that is the most beneficial with having those 4 kids is, one, that they understand who much is given, much is expected. Number 2, they understand that they cannot do this without their teammates. Everybody on our team has a job to do, and those jobs are very different, but everybody takes pride in what their role is in our team. But just having 4 kids at that caliber on one high school team is not normal. So we certainly are blessed to have that.
When did you realize this team, or was there a game or stretch that you realized that y'all had a chance to have a special season this year that y'all having?
I think that we've known that we've had a very talented team, for a while. We knew that we had all the moving pieces. I think part of being in education is sometimes getting kids to believe that. We've preached to our kids about some of the successes that they've had. We won early against Saxe. That was a big win for us. We beat Irving MacArthur. We beat Skyline. But our kids still, I think, lacked that confidence. I would say the turning point was probably the Mansfield tournament. We played some very talented teams in that tournament and made it to the championship game. And I think having accomplished that, the kids really started to believe in themselves and that they could really do this. So I think that's probably where we, hit our momentum, which we needed right before we went back to district play against Allen in the first round.
How disappointing was to have 3 one-point losses last year and miss the playoffs, and how much motivation have you used from that this year?
Well, we've spent a lot of time talking about that for the last 10 months. Number 1, I think that it speaks volumes about how close-knit this district is, how tight it is and competitive. Number 2, we did that to ourselves. We lost 3 games by 1 point and missed 27 free throws in those 3 losses. So we've spent a lot of time the last 10 months talking about paying attention to details, controlling your own destiny, not taking things for granted. So it's definitely been a learning experience.
How special has it been for you as an administrator and coach to see your seniors, your big 3, Jemiah Braxton, Quincy Noble, and Kayla Moultrie, develop from day 1 to where they are now, going off to D1 schools next year?
It's an interesting story because, from, people such as the media or the fans that come in on Tuesday and Friday nights and they watch these kids play basketball. For us, it's not even about the basketball part of it. Just to watch them grow as human beings. They're all 3 very different kids. They've all 3 had very different challenges ahead of them. And there's been countless time spent by our coaching staff and their families and helping them grow through this process and the maturity that they have made and their own challenges. That's been the special part, I think, for us, is just seeing them develop into the type of people that God has planned for them and just be it working right beside their families and helping them to develop. And then obviously the basketball part of it has been fun too. But they're 3 kids with bright futures, and we're really excited about it.
What would it mean to win the program's first district title since 1998 this season?
Well, I mean, I think that would be huge. I think that we have accomplished a lot of really good things in our program, but I think sometimes our kids have a little bit of a grudge on their shoulder. Sometimes they feel like they're not getting the attention they deserve. We try to focus on just making sure that we're speaking what we need to say on the court. We have a line in our program that we say, keep punching them in the mouth. Just keep proving people wrong, but your talk doesn't do anything. You got to get down on the floor. So I think for our kids, that would be really big. I want us to play McKinney basketball and continue to remember how we got here, and that staying within our system is going to be how we're going to advance whatever direction that's going to be.
Final question before you got the hot seat. What do we have to do to make a deep run this year, and how special would that be compared to all y'all been through to get to this point?
Well, one, I think we have to stay healthy. I think that's number one. We've been very blessed in that situation. Number two, we definitely have to shoot the basketball well. I mean, we've got several kids that can score the basketball, but when we are not shooting the basketball well, we need to make sure that we're zoning in our defense. When we are aggressive on defense, that opens things up for us on both sides of the ball. I think that we're better at our decision-making on the offensive end of the ball, but I think sometimes because we have had a lot of success shooting it, that we're not very patient sometimes. And I think for us to get into the playoffs and make a run, we're going to have to really be particular about passing up maybe some good shots or some great shots. So just our decision-making.